Hey buddy, let me paint a scene you might relate to. You wake up in the morning, the room's dead silent, but your mind's doing a full-blown concert. Before your feet even hit the floor, you're already exhausted. Not because of the day ahead, but from the relentless stream of thoughts swirling around your head. What if I screw something up today? Why did I say that stupid thing yesterday? Am I even doing enough to make my life count? You haven't moved yet, but inside you're drained already. And the worst part is, you've gotten so used to feeling this way, it just seems normal now. But deep down, you know it shouldn't be. Nobody ever actually taught you that. So let me say it straight, your mind isn't meant to be your enemy. It should be your home, your anchor, your guiding light. Not a place where fear takes hold. It shouldn't attack you when things go quiet either. But here's the raw truth: no one told you this. Avoiding problems doesn't fix them. You can drown yourself in noises, scrolling endlessly, binge-watching, numbing with entertainment, or even falling into toxic habits, but sooner or later, silence will hit, and your mind will drag up everything you've tried to suppress. That's not weakness. No, it's a sign, a cry for leadership inside your head, because your mind isn't broken, it's just untrained. Like any powerful tool, if you don't learn to handle it, it'll end up hurting you. That's where the wisdom of the ancient Stoics comes into play, not with empty philosophy, but with something real and practical. They weren't monks living peacefully on a mountain. They were soldiers, emperors, slaves, exiles, people who faced real pain, loss, betrayal, chaos. But despite all that, they didn't let those hardships control their minds. Why? Because they believed one thing, that it's not what happens to you that destroys you, but how you think about what happens. Marcus Aurelius, smack in the middle of war and plague, wrote to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That wasn't just some fluff for Instagram. That was a survival skill. And here's the kicker: you can develop that skill too. You don't need to become cold or emotionless, and you don't have to ignore how you feel. But what you do need is to train your focus, to reclaim your inner space. Because if you don't, the world will just keep invading it. Let's be honest, it's happening every day. Your mind gets pulled in 100 directions. Social media comparisons, FOMO, regrets about the past, anxiety about the future, people telling you what you should be by now. No wonder you sometimes feel overwhelmed, like you can't even breathe. But I want you to remember this. You're allowed to slow down. You have every right to take control back. And no, it's not too late. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being presentially aware of your thoughts, feelings, and choices. We're about to walk through 7 tough but healing truths from Stoicism that will help you stop chasing after mental peace and start creating it from the inside out. This isn't motivational hype. It's a real mental strategy. So before we get started, do this one thing for yourself. Close all other tabs. Silence the outside world. Make this your moment to stop running from your mind and start leading it instead. And if any of what I say hits you deep down, don't hold back, hit that like button, drop an affirmation in the comments, or share this with someone you love. Subscribe if you're serious about building a mind that finally feels safe. Drop this affirmation now. My mind is my home and I will protect it. Number 1, stop letting your feelings drive your decisions. If something outside bothers you, the pain isn't coming from the situation itself, but from how you're judging it, just like Marcus Aurelius said. Here's a hard truth. Your feelings are real, but they're not always right. They're signals, not commands. Yet most of us treat emotions as if they're the ones in control: sadness, anger, anxiety, and we react without thinking. When you feel sad, you freeze. When anger hits, you lash out. When fear surfaces, you start canceling plans or avoiding life altogether. But here's the problem. When emotions steer the wheel, the car usually crashes. That's not to say a wise person ignores feelings they are felt but not obeyed. Be honest, have you ever said something in anger and immediately regretted it? Or made a poor choice because you were scared or jealous in the moment? That's what happens when feelings take over without your permission. So, your first move to get control is simple. Remind yourself, I feel this emotion, but I don't have to act on it. And here's a good trick: when a strong feeling hits, pause and name it. Say quietly inside, this is anger, or this is fear, or this is shame. By labeling it, you separate yourself from the emotion. You're not the feeling, you are the observer of it. Then ask yourself, what would my wiser self choose in this moment? That single question lets your logical brain step in. It creates a pause, a space that helps prevent impulsive reactions that you'll regret. The Stoics called this the power of reasoned choice, acting consciously instead of blindly. You can still feel sad and go to work, or feel fear but speak honestly, or feel anger but remain silent, because discipline isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about guiding them. Here's a personal tip. Next time you're overwhelmed, write your feelings down before reacting. You'll see that once they're out of your head and on paper, they lose some of their power. Marcus Aurelius used to do exactly that. His meditations weren't meant for public consumption. They were his way of checking himself, reminding himself, this is how I feel, this is how I choose to act. Imagine how much stronger you'd become if you did that every day. Not perfect, just more aware. Number 2, slow your racing thoughts before they take over. You know what really steals your peace? Not the big events, but the tiny thoughts that pile up and spin out of control. One minute you're fine, then suddenly your mind's in 5 different places. Did I fail? What did she mean by that message? Why am I behind everyone else? What if something bad happens tomorrow? Boom, you are lost in stress, distracted, exhausted, and you haven't even left your room. Let's get real. Overthinking isn't a sign of high intelligence. It's a sign of poor control over your mind. Even smart guys like the Stoics knew this. That's why they trained their thoughts like soldiers. Give them direction. Don't let them wander endlessly. How do you slow your thoughts? First, recognize when you're doing it. Your breathing gets shallow, your heartbeat races for no reason, or you keep rereading the same sentence without comprehension. Now, do something radical. Pause, close your eyes, breathe deeply, inhale slowly, exhale even slower. Then narrow your focus. Name one thing that's bothering you, just one. Most of us are overthinking because we're juggling 10 tabs at once. Simplify. Tell your mind, we're dealing with this one thing today. At night, reflect with a simple question. What thoughts caused me anxiety today? Were they real threats or just my mind overreacting? How could I have responded with more calm? By turning reactions into reflections, you build discipline. Your mind sharpens, panic lessens, and you start hearing your own voice, aging clear and steady amid the chaos. Remember, not every thought is true, and not every feeling is a fact. Your mind's job is to observe it, on absorb. Like Seneca said, a wise person watches what happens without turning it into a personal story. Here's a quick trick. When someone frowns or looks upset, don't jump to conclusions. Don't assume they're mad at you. Maybe they're having a bad day, or maybe they're distracted. Ask questions instead of making stories. Replace judgment with curiosity. That's the real power of a Stoic. Stop rushing to judgments, slow down your conclusions, and separate facts from feelings. Feelings of being left out aren't facts unless someone actually excluded you. Using these practices night after night helps you see clearly and frees you from invisible wounds of misinterpretation. Number 3, feed your mind wisely, don't poison it. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." You are not just what you eat, you're what you consume mentally. If you're constantly feeding your brain gossip, drama, fear, comparison, or junk content, don't expect to feel calm or fulfilled. Many treat their phones like snacks. They scroll aimlessly, absorbing whatever pops up. But imagine doing that with your food, just eating whatever junk someone hands you, no matter how rotten or toxic. You get sick fast, right? So ask yourself, how long have I been feeding my mind garbage without realizing it? The Stoics were very deliberate about what they let into their heads because they knew a weak mind isn't born weak, it's made that way by constant distraction and mental junk. The challenge is simple. Audit your mental diet. Look at who you're following online, what kind of conversations you're part of, and whether you're consuming wisdom or just noise. Most of the time, that foggy feeling in your head comes from content that has no real meaning, no truth, no purpose. You can change that. Replace one piece of toxic input with a small dose of wisdom each day. Read a couple of pages from a Stoic journal. Watch 10 minutes of something that cultivates calmness or truth, or spend time in silence instead of scrolling. It may seem like a tiny shift, but that's how real change begins. Also, guard your conversations. If someone's always negative, gossiping, or shallow, limit your time around them, not to be rude, but to protect your peace. Even if your body's strong, a poisoned mind will bring you down. Ask yourself every day, is what I'm consuming helping me become the person I respect? If not, it's just a distraction, sort of thing your future self will thank you for avoiding. Before you consume, ask, does this sharpen me or does it soften me? Does it feed my fears or fuel my strength? Because whatever you feed grows. Drop this affirmation now. I feed my mind with clarity, not chaos. Number 4, train your mind to observe, not absorb. We tend to fear more than we're hurt, and our suffering often comes from imagining worst-case scenarios. Seneca pointed out that if someone frowns at you, your thoughts might start spinning stories. Maybe they're upset, maybe they hate you, maybe they're just having a bad day. Instead of absorbing every small sign and turning it into pain, a Stoic observes it without making it more than what it is. Here's the truth. Not everything you feel is reality. Not everything you hear is true, and not everything you see is about you. Yet, an untrained mind will always connect dots that don't belong together. And that's exhausting, thinking everyone's angry at you, believing every gesture has hidden meaning. That's why mental training is essential. Learn to see things as they are, not as your fears want them to be. Here's how. First, slow down your rush to conclusions. Your brain loves quick answers, like they didn't text me so they hate me. Instead, ask, what else could it mean? Do I have proof or just a hunch? Second, distinguish fact from feeling. Feeling excluded isn't a fact unless someone deliberately excluded you. Usually, it's your own past pain coloring your perception. Practice honesty with yourself each night. Reflect and ask, did I see things clearly today, or was I letting my fears cloud the truth? Third, curious, not paranoid. Instead of jumping to conclusions, ask questions. Instead of they're ignoring me, think, maybe they're tired, distracted, or not thinking about me at all. That's the essence of daily Stoicism, chosen deliberate thought, not assumption-based stories. When you catch yourself assuming, remember, your stories shape your identity. Don't let false narratives run wild in your mind. Be a calm, curious observer and drop this affirmation in the comments. I observe the world, I do not absorb the noise. Number 5, teach your mind to be okay with not knowing. Stop demanding that everything happen exactly as you want. Instead, accept life as it unfolds and keep your inner peace. Epictetus emphasized this: trust yourself to respond well, even when you don't have all the answers. We hate uncertainty, what they think of us, what will happen next, whether decisions will turn out right. That fear of not knowing fuels anxiety and overthinking. But the Stoics teach a simple truth. You don't need all the answers to be at peace. You just need to trust your ability to handle whatever comes. It's about controlling how you respond, not trying to control every outcome. The modern mind wants instant answers, so it Googles everything, overanalyzes texts, predicts the future. Eventually, it's exhausted. But Zen-like calm comes from accepting that some things are out of your hands. Practice radical presence. Ask yourself, what's true right now? Are you in danger, or are you just fearing what might happen? Because fear lives in the realm of maybe, not in the present. Stop trying to predict everything. Trust yourself instead. Let the unknown be your teacher. It humbles you, develops patience, and builds trust, not in the future, but in your own resilience. When Epictetus lost everything, his home, his freedom, he didn't panic. He said, "You may bind my body, but not my will." Why? Because he trusted he could face whatever came with clarity. Each time you resist the urge to chase certainty, you train your mind to stand steady in the unknown. That's true power, knowing how to sail through the storm, not controlling it. Number 6, create daily mental routines, not emotional dependencies. Don't just say you believe in this philosophy of it. Epictetus advised embodying your values. Some days, you wake up feeling solid-focused, calm, ready. Other days, you're anxious or lost again. So what changed? Most people base their entire mindset on how they're feeling, but feelings are fleeting like weather. If your happiness depends on feeling good, you're at the mercy of random fluctuations. That's dangerous because mood swings are inevitable. The Stoics had a better approach. They built routines, daily rituals that trained their mindset regardless of how they felt. Do you have a mental routine, not just a to-do list, but something that centers you, sharpens your clarity before the chaos of the day begins? If not, the world will decide your mood for you. Start with simple practices. First, a moment of stillness each morning, 5 minutes. No phone, no music, just breathe. Settle your mind. This isn't about meditation trends. It's about mental alignment, checking in with yourself before you face the world. Next, write a guiding sentence of something like, today, I won't rush, or my peace is non-negotiable, or I choose clarity over reaction. Just one sentence to remind you of your intention. It doesn't need to be perfect. Consistency is what matters. Finally, detach actions from feelings. Even if you're tired or unmotivated, still show up. Maybe at 40%, but show up. Because your future self doesn't care how you felt yesterday, it cares what you did despite your feelings. That builds respect from your mind. Respect turns into confidence, which turns into strength, and that's real control. Drop this affirmation: I act with discipline, not emotion. Number 7, make your inner world stronger than the chaos outside. Your worth isn't measured by external achievements, but by your ambitions. Marcus Aurelius once said, a man's value is no greater than his goals. Here's a hard truth. The world's noise is only getting louder. More demands, more opinions, more pressure to prove yourself. It's easy to forget who you truly are when you chase validation, whether it's followers, approval, or praise. But the Stoics knew better. If your peace depends on outside approval, you'll always be at someone else's mercy. The real work is building such a strong inner world that no outside storm can shake it. Start here. First, stop chasing validation. You don't need everyone to understand you, agree with you, or see your worth. Sometimes being misunderstood is part of being authentic. Tell yourself, if I'm honest and true to myself, that's enough. Second, redefine what success means for you. Is it peace? Self-respect? Showing up daily no matter what? Write your own success story, not what the world says it should be. Third, celebrate your small wins, like staying calm under pressure, standing your ground, or not reacting in anger. Those are true victories. That's real power, the kind most people will never grasp because they're too busy trying to look strong. Remember, the outside world will always shift. Your inner strength, however, must be steady. That's the Stoic way to stay centered no matter what. Drop this affirmation: my power comes from within. I don't seek approval outside. And if you've made it this far, here's the bottom line: you are not here for surface-level motivation. You want truth. And the truth is, you won't control your mind perfectly. You'll still overthink, still react, sometimes slip into old patterns. But now you're aware. And awareness is power. Every pause before reacting, each moment of reflection instead of lashes out, every time you choose discipline over emotion, that's real control. That's growth, that's freedom. You don't have to be fearless. Just face your mind head-on, lead it like a warrior. Don't chase a perfect mind, build one that's strong, listens well, and decides with wisdom. You've got this. Not because life gets easier, but because you'll grow stronger. If this message resonates, hit like, leave a comment, share with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more practical Stoic wisdom. And close with this affirmation: I lead my mind, I do not follow it.